Are we on, Brian?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
You're on. We're good.
Good Wednesday evening again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Tailgate Talk. We're glad you chose to spend a little bit of time here with us this evening via remote from the state of Colorado. We've got Brian Denton out there in-house. My son Braden, who was recently married. Congratulations, Braden.
Thank you. Finally returned to the studio with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here.
I'll be back.
You know, Braden, when he was growing up, I gave him a lot of butt whoopings when he did stuff wrong. And this weekend, I'm going to give him another one in fantasy football. Jeff Green hosting us here in the Casa de Green. Jeff, as always, it's a pleasure to be sitting right next to you here in studio.
I have that effect on people.
I know you do. Guys, what a great weekend. There were some great games last week in college football. Starting off Friday night, how about Virginia taking down the Seminoles in overtime, double overtime, I believe it was.
Yep.
And just nobody saw that one coming.
That was the fastest field storm I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I just see that coming by so much that I didn't even watch the game. I had to watch it on delay. I had to find it after they were playing it on the 60-minute thing because I didn't think that was going to be a game.
No. Yeah, I was out of town. I was listening to it on Sirius Radio driving back home. And, you know, the Virginia announcer, I love the way he described it. This stadium is like a huge water balloon, and our defense is the pin. And just great. Did you see the game, Brian, or did you?
I saw highlights of the game. I didn't get to see the game like everybody else. I wasn't expecting anything of a game of that. And then I saw the highlights, but to be honest with you, I was waiting to see when Florida State was going to slip up. And that was the game that it happened. Yeah. I didn't trust them, but I wasn't surprised they lost either. So,
but it was Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people thought it was going to be this.
I'll give the announcer credit. Their defense was the key.
Yeah.
You know, their offense wasn't doing anything great,
no.
But their defense kept putting them in really good positions.
They did.
I mean, and their special teams was impeccable. They had great punt returns. They just put themselves in good positions.
Well, and we speak about Virginia's defense putting them in good positions. Let's move on to Saturday. One defense that did not put their team in a good position was Kansas. Going up against Cincinnati at home, offense did more than enough to win that game. Jaden Daniels looked really good. They just...
But what a fun game to watch.
It was.
It was a fun game to watch. You know, from someone that I am a dog in the fight.
Right.
I was watching because of you. Felt for you most of the fourth quarter. But, you know, what a fun game. I mean, both teams came to play.
They were just trading punches back and forth on the offensive side of the ball. And I really was waiting for Kansas defense to step it up. And, you know, they did take that lead late in that game. And I thought, well, did they leave Cincinnati too much time? And obviously they did. So.
Well, if you look at Cincinnati, they're only the Nebraska game away from being undefeated. So they're a solid team. Yep. They really are a solid team. That quarterback is really good. That guy's a gritty player, and he has a lot to do with their success.
The only bad game he had was against Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that a miraculous interception could have went the other way. You never know. You know, if he put a little bit of a better.
We watched it. It wasn't going the other way. Harbaugh got there and said, "No, this is our ball."
All I'm saying is, if he would have made just a little bit better throw, that could have been a different story. Just saying. But
there we go.
But Cincinnati's right there in that Big 12 fight.
Yeah.
So.
And the one good thing about it is, like, Kansas isn't out of the Big 12 right now. They're, you know, one loss in there. They've got the other loss to a top 25 team in Missouri. So
the Missouri loss will not be held against them.
No. So I don't.
Wide open.
Kansas will not be good enough to get an large bid in the tournament in the CFP, but they could still make some noise in the Big 12 yet this year. Speaking of the Big 12, let's stay in it. And a team we wrote off decided to bring a former Husker coach, Scott Frost team, and kind of put a whooping on them. I mean, K-State, that's the best game I've seen them play all year.
Hands down.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, what is UFC or UCF?
They're 3-1 now. That was their first loss.
Yeah, they were undefeated going into that
They
game.
beat Bill Belichick at UNC, and
Yeah,
then
they did win
I
that.
think a couple small games to start the year. But
And hopefully they're going to have 2 losses in a row because they do play
Yeah, they play
Fighting
Kansas next.
Jayhawks at UCF this weekend. But yeah, I mean, K-State looked good in that game. They looked like they kind of figured everything out, and Frost looked lost over on the sidelines. I mean, but
It looks familiar to me.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know that
very familiar.
same thing. Well, let's get into some big games. I want to touch those. Also, the other thing I want to know, because we do have some fans out in Bryan State, Colorado kept it close with BYU the other night. They only got beat by 3. They did keep it close with them. BYU top 25 team. You know, I'm not saying Prime's got everything figured out there in Boulder, but they didn't get blown out.
Yeah, we all understand what he's been going through, old Sanders. You know, he's been fighting the cancer thing, and he's whining pretty good, trying to bring the empathy over to his team, even though he's 1-3.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's the thing about him, though. He's kept every game close. They haven't got blown out.
And
He's been in the fight every single game they played so far.
And 2 of their 3 losses have come to top 25 teams, BYU and Georgia Tech.
but aren't they supposed to be a top 25 team?
Colorado?
Yeah, according to Dion.
Well, according to Prime, yes, but according to
Colorado fans.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado fans think they should be undefeated and going to the national championship 3 years in a row now.
Well, you know, one thing I do know is Prime's showing again that he can't manage the clock at the end of a game.
Yeah.
And honestly, 2 of their losses have come down to that. How do you go into the locker room at the end of the game down with 2 timeouts twice?
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen ever.
Dion needs to realize that he's a clown show that creates a lot of speaking around him. What he needs to do is get a real offensive coordinator that he can turn the ball over to, to give the play calling to. You know, he needs to be a CEO style coach, not the playmaking coach down there on the sideline.
Yeah.
He's walking up and down, talking to the players, getting them goosed up, making sure that they know that he's behind them. You know, CEO style. Let the offensive coordinator do their job. Let the defensive coordinator do their job, and then you would lose these time mismanagement things when you let the professionals do their jobs.
Well, let's move over to the Big Ten now. And how about the bounce back for Bellama and the Fighting Illini of Illinois? They were 6.5-point underdogs going into this game, and they really controlled the game, I felt, against USC. I don't feel like the Illinois ever felt like they were not going to win that game.
1,000%.
I agree with you. It was a good bounce back for Illinois. And that just shows I never did trust in USC, but I think Illinois, you're right. Illinois had that game in hand the whole time. They weren't really worried. It was a closer game, but I don't think they were ever worried. They have a more gritty team than USC ever will.
Yeah. That catch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's pass interference going on. Illinois guys just dragging him down the ground. He reaches up, just snags that ball one hand.
Yeah.
That was
play of the week.
That was the play of the week.
That was Odell Beckham style.
Exactly. That was a Beckham challenge.
Right.
Phenomenal. I mean, bring you up out of your seat, go, what? Rewind.
And then you stay in the Big 12, in the Big 10, excuse me. The team that blew Illinois out the week before, Indiana, they've got a close game with Iowa. I mean, a 5-point win for Indiana. Iowa played that down and dirty, gritty game that they always
That's what they do.
play.
Yeah. You know, they have one of the best defenses year in, year out.
Yeah.
You know, and their special teams never make mistakes.
Yeah.
And despite their offense is horrendous, they eat clock and they punt the ball very well.
Yep.
So, you know, the defense doesn't come out in a bad spot.
One thing that I was always done well is shorten the game.
Yeah,
They
Right.
they like you said, they run the ball. They don't always score very much. Like they're lucky to put up 12 points, but they're going to shorten that time for that offense to have that ball. So, and it's been a winning formula for them. It really has.
It keeps them in contention.
Yeah.
You know, they're always right there in the talk of it.
Mhm.
Will they ever bust that bubble and get above that with this formula? Probably not. But you know, they send players to the NFL, high draft picks, and when they get there, they're well coached, so they fit right in. You know, I mean, if they could convince some offensive juggernauts to come there, they'd be in
Well,
great shape.
Ferentz is the longest tenured coach in NCAA right now. I mean, he's been there for 27 years, maybe. So
Yeah, it's getting up there. He's been there a long time.
yeah.
Long time.
And Gundy was the second until he got let go by Oklahoma State. But you know, the guy has his team set the way he's going to do it, year in, year out. He's always in a bowl game,
Always in a bowl
always
game.
winning record. You know, he may not be that team that's
He's always in the
undefeated.
talk for the Big Ten in
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
You know,
They always seem to be 1-2 losses right out of it.
Yeah.
They're always right there.
right there.
So, but let's jump down, guys. Let's go to the SEC for a little bit. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. I think he was pissed off because his daughter's dating an LSU player and it got brought out in public. They again, that was a game. Ole Miss controlled the game.
Very much
They played their style of ball. They controlled that game. LSU could just not figure out how to get that win.
No. They control.
No,
Were they ever down though? I think Ole Miss had the lead the whole game.
No, almost scored on the opening drive and never,
Yeah.
never
Never back.
lost it.
Yeah.
you know, for me on this game, LSU was kind of in that same boat with me for FSU. Like I was waiting to see if they were going to stumble. You know, they had looked good all year so far, but all they had to do is run into a team that's going to give them a fight. And I thought with their early success, they may sustain it. But, you know, obviously we found out how bad Clemson is. So, you know, that doesn't hold much weight anymore as it did
Not at
before.
all.
So, you know, I just was waiting for them to stumble because LSU's kind of like FSU in that point. They look good, but then they always stumble somewhere they shouldn't. So, and that was that game. But Ole Miss isn't out of the picture in that SEC. They're a good team.
Well, now I think it's an overreaction, but coming out of that game, Finball and a lot of the SEC people are calling them to win the SEC now. I think that's
See,
an overreaction to what happened down there.
I'm just saying they're in that contention.
They
They
definitely
should
are
be
in
in-
that contention.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think at LSU falling showed more about LSU not being all that.
Yeah.
Than it is saying that Ole Miss is ready to go in and run Georgia and Alabama out of the namesake.
Right.
And speaking of Alabama and Georgia, Kalen DeBoer, I think he kind of kept his job for the year at least.
Is it? You know, we talked about this last week. You know, you can lose to Georgia.
You could.
You cannot lose to Vanderbilt
Yeah.
and hold your job.
Yeah.
If he
Vanderbilt's
loses to
undefeated.
Vanderbilt this week, that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
After Nick
But-
Saban said the only place you can play and feel safe in the SEC is where? Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
16th in the nation right now too, and that's one thing when Saban was coaching Alabama, Vanderbilt wasn't a ranked team. They weren't a relevant team. The last couple of years, they have started becoming relevant, and you know,
9th year starter,
So-
Diego, whatever.
Yeah.
9th year starter.
9th year starter.
yeah, when he graduates college, he will collect Social Security.
No
But-
kidding.
You know, Bama went in and they lit Georgia. I mean, Georgia, it was a
They
good
punched him
game.
in the mouth right at the beginning.
Yes, and Georgia didn't know how to respond.
I mean, it was still a close game.
Yeah,
But like you said about the last game, I don't think Alabama felt like they were going to lose at any point.
Do you think Georgia is feeling the effect of losing Carson Beck?
Absolutely.
I mean, Beck, look what he's doing down in Miami right now. Beck is got the Canes back up, and I'm not saying the U is back, but Beck is doing some stuff down there in South Florida that's awesome. And
That Gunnar Stockton's not a great thrower of the football.
No.
He is a very run first, read option type of guy.
Yeah.
And that does not fit Kirby's offense.
I think
whatsoever.
I think the idea that Alabama beat Georgia after, Alabama's earlier malfunctions kind of shows where the SEC is as a conference.
Mhm.
LSU is a front runner. Now they lose. You got Ole Miss, who in the beginning of the year wasn't even really talked about. Oklahoma, that seems to be making some waves, but no one has any faith in them. I think the SEC is down again. This ain't the first year. This is now multiple years in a row that no one expects them to win the national championship.
right, they've still got good teams.
Got
good teams.
Right.
Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU, Texas.
But if we're talking about national championship, it's
Yeah.
Ohio State, it's Oregon, it's Penn State, and now all of a sudden Indiana's making some claims to that. But they're going to have to actually win a big game to get past it. Kind of like Penn State, they got to win one of these big games. That was a hell of a game, but again, they didn't win.
Yep. Well, Jeff, you mentioned it. Last game from last week we're going to talk about. Let's go to Happy Valley, the whiteout. And another good.
Wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it
was
was
awesome.
another great game. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody knew going into this because neither team had really played anybody this year. Oregon, Penn State, undefeated, top 10 or top 5 ranked
Top
teams.
5 teams. Yep.
And I felt like Penn State abandoned their run game.
At the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that hurt them. They've got those 2 backs. Both of them are excellent running backs. But I think they were trying to put everything on Aller early on in that game. And he wasn't producing. The pass rush was getting to him, and he was making bad decisions. And he wasn't putting the ball on his receivers.
But the first half, though, you can say the same about Oregon. It was 3-3 at halftime.
True.
I mean, it was a
defensive game.
It was a very defensive game,
and both teams were hitting hard.
Yeah.
Brian, what was your thoughts on that game watching it? Or did you watch it?
I did.
Ah.
I did. Yes. So my
You
thoughts.
go hide in the bathroom.
No. So the one thing I will say, my take from that game is that I wasn't surprised it was defensive. I thought it was going to be a defensive game. One thing we're finding out is Oregon doesn't shy away from the big game. They just don't. They don't care going into a big place like that. They're not going to be phased. Moore looks really good. I think he played poised. Our quarterback play was just a little bit better, and Oregon, I think, wanted it a little bit more as well. So that's my takeaway from the game. It's good to see Oregon go in and win a big game like that. My only worry is like they did last year. They did really good throughout the whole season. They got in the playoffs, had a bye, and then all of a sudden it lets down. Yeah. I'm hoping that don't happen again, but we're finding Oregon's not going to back down from the big games at all.
Hey, I have a slightly different take on that.
I know you're coughing up a little.
Yeah, it was killing me, and I'm letting him finish. But it felt to me like both teams were trying to get their legs underneath them, trying to figure each other out. And it took longer than expected especially for Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State came from 14 down in the fourth quarter, forced it overtime, had one bad play in the second overtime. They were in control of that game. And if that game was to be replayed, I think Penn State runs away with it.
That last pass was inches from being a perfect ball.
Absolutely. That was a great defensive play. I don't want to take anything away from that.
Yeah.
But if you take the whole of the fourth quarter and the overtimes, Penn State outplayed them dramatically. And you could see it in Oregon's defense. They were on their heels. They were not happy about what was happening. and they didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to clarify what I'm saying is that Oregon right now is just kind of playing when it's in the big games, they play like the Eagles. They do just enough to win some way. I don't think that they had the game in hand. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're going to step up to the challenge and they're going to play it to the last bit. And that's what they showed. When it went into overtime, I was worried. I thought
I know you were. You quit texting.
Once it went into overtime, I was like, "Ah, shit! Penn State's going to get it in overtime." But Oregon stepped up, made the big play that mattered, and was the difference in the game.
I really thought the momentum had switched back over to Penn State when they intercepted the 2-point conversion on when Oregon scored that touchdown in the second.
The interception that won the game that happened though. That wasn't a momentum. That was a great play. But I mean, that linebacker just happened to be in the right spot, and if that ball was 2 inches further up in the air, he would have caught it.
Well, it was like Hartzog's pick against Cincinnati.
Well, Hartzog was getting that ball no matter what.
Well, this linebacker was getting that ball no matter what, too. I mean, the way he went up in the air to grab that thing out of there. I mean, it's just great defensive plays.
He seen what was going on. He broke it down. He got it.
Yeah,
and you're right. That's big moments.
Yeah,
you know that's how you win championships.
Yep.
Lanning is setting himself up as one of the better coaches in football. He really is.
I'm glad you brought that up. Did you watch the post game with Lanning?
No, I didn't watch it.
You did?
I didn't see it.
Did you?
I don't think I caught it either.
Did you?
I watched it.
He was so jacked up.
Oh, no.
I mean, what do you think about? I just can't believe what we did here today. We are here. My boys, they just responded to everything. They went out in man. We didn't see white. We saw winning the game. We're out here to win. I mean, that guy was jacked up. I don't think I've ever seen a coach after a game in that condition. If I'd have met that guy anywhere else in other than that situation, I'd have swore he was on drugs.
So I will just say, as an Oregon fan and watching them for the last several years, they are a better team now than what they were in the Chip Kelly days.
Yeah.
And when they went to the because they have grit.
But how it works for all of you, since you didn't watch it, go find that on the internet and find that interview afterwards, because I can't put into words how off the wall he was. He was so jacked.
We're gonna break this down in a week because they both have 2 weeks off.
Yes.
Lanning against Ignati. I mean,
you want to talk about the two cockiest coaches in the Big Ten.
I know. You know, it's going to be great. But let's move on. Not a lot of big games going on this weekend. I mean, you have Miami at Florida State, which has kind of lost a little bit of the luster with Florida State going down against Virginia.
I mean, I'd have picked Miami anyway.
Yes.
But now it just seems like a foregone conclusion.
Yes. I think Miami is the front runner in the ACC right now. I don't think anybody there. Now, I'm not saying they can't slip up and get beat, but I think Miami is the front runner out of that ACC right now.
And as good as Minnesota is as a solid team, does anyone think they really actually have a chance of beating Ohio State?
No.
But if it happens, it's a fluke.
Any given Saturday, given Sunday, you can see things happen like that.
But it's not something that you can break down ahead of time and say how it's going to happen.
Well, like last year, you could not have predicted Vanderbilt was going to beat Alabama.
No.
You know,
you didn't see it coming. You could visualize it.
Now this year, Vandy is showing that they're a top 25 team right now.
The other difference is Vandy did it last year.
Right.
So now they believe it, they can. And they're going to Tuscaloosa for the first time in 40 years, not scared?
Yeah. Yep. So you got Vandy at Bama this weekend. You got Miami at Florida State. Some of your other favorite teams are going to be on the docket playing. You got Michigan State, the Spartans coming in, and Nebraska. Guys, this is a game Nebraska should walk out of there with at least a 20 to 25-point win.
For 2-3 days now, I've been listening to how Michigan State does this well, does that well. But if there's a team that's built for us to go and beat up on, that's them.
A bye week.
We get a bye week ahead of them. They throw the ball. They don't run the ball well.
Yeah.
They stop the run, but don't stop the pass. Well, we don't run the ball that much because we're not that good at it, and we're going to pass all over them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their offense, we're pretty good against the pass. And if you don't run the ball very well, you're really hurting yourselves trying to get it on our defense. They've really got to go bad for Nebraska for us to lose this one. I agree with you. I think we come out with a double-digit control style win in this one.
Brian?
I think Nebraska should win it fairly handily. I would be a little worried if they didn't. Is what I'm saying, but I just don't.
Right.
I just
point of the day.
I just don't trust Nebraska yet. They showed a really good game against Michigan. They fought a gritty game.
Enough of you. I'm done listening. You not trusting us. We lost by 3 points to a really good Michigan team. I know it's not in the talk of everything, but you watch. Look what they did last year. They beat Ohio State right at the end of the year. They took Alabama out of their bowl game. This is not a weak Michigan team we lost by 3 points to.
No, I'm not saying that.
We battled with them.
But all I'm saying is this year so far they played a close game against Cincinnati,
who turns out to be a decent team.
Yes, but then they had their cakewalk games in there, and then they lost a close game to Michigan. Now what I'm saying is this game needs to be shown that they're that much better than Michigan State, or
Absolutely.
So if they win a handily game, then I'll start buying into it and start seeing.
Then we got the tough game, right? Minnesota on the road. Maryland on the road. That's the problem. We got to go on the road eventually.
Yeah.
We've not been good on the road for 3 years. Yeah. So until we got to do this handily, like you said, but in Maryland, we got to go on the road and win one. And we got to go on the road and win one like we mean it.
This is a game where Nebraska has to start building momentum for the rest of the year. They're coming off a loss. They get the bye. Now they're coming in. They're hosting Michigan State. Michigan State is down this year. They're not the Michigan State of the past. Nebraska needs to go in, make a statement in this game. This has to be a statement game for them to build momentum for the next 2 road weeks.
Yes, absolutely. And when we go on the road, we got to go out there and get unscathed.
Yeah.
We can't go on the road and split. We got to go out there and win 2 in a row and go into that USC game all barrels running.
Yep. So, well, a lot of college football.
Thank you for touching on that because it's coming out of the realm of where we're going.
Yeah.
Now, don't forget the upset of the week: Florida over Texas down there in the swamp.
Presley thinks it's going to happen. He thinks
I do too. I put money on it. I'm not just talking shit. I went up to it and I put money on it. So Florida, and I put it on the money line. I take the points.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can't see that one happen.
I think Texas is not all that.
I think Texas has the better players.
Do they?
I think Texas has the better players. I don't think Florida is the Florida that we have seen in the past few years.
I don't think Texas players are what they were built up to be. And Archie sure the hell ain't.
Well,
he's the middle of the run quarterback at best.
I'm not
the
talking
running backs,
the quarterback.
This is not Bijan Robinson. Sam Robinson sitting in their backfield.
The receivers are solid.
They're solid, but they're would you say they're the best in the country?
What I'm saying, what I'm saying.
I mean, that's not Ohio State's wide receivers out there.
Florida.
That's not Oregon's wide receivers out there.
Florida and Texas and all that.
I'm just saying. You put Ohio State, Oregon, Bama or Georgia up there in that Texas face. Who picks Texas to win any of those games?
No, I don't pick them to win those games. I'm just saying compare Florida's skilled players and players to Texas's. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Texas has the best players in the land. I'm just saying against Florida, Florida is not.
They're going into the swamp.
I know, and I'm just saying they are not.
Has Texas been to the swamp before? No.
But the thing,
all bowl games.
honestly, the swamp to me, like in the last several years, is really not a hindrance. They haven't been the same team for several years.
Stop it. That is one of the premier venues in the nation. The swamp is nasty. It's loud. Their stadium is built straight up and down on each other for volume. And the Chomp, their fans are just brutal.
Now
That's a horrible place to play.
what's tougher to play at, the swamp or the shoe in Ohio State?
Well, the shoe hold 110,000 people.
Right.
The swamp was what, 88, 89, like we are. But they're built more up and down. They're louder than we are. It's a closed in both ends stadium. They have high roofs on both sides. Man, it's got to be close. I bet you those decibels aren't too much louder in the shoe. Yeah. Just because of how the swamp is built.
I can see that. I agree.
You gonna be there? Are you gonna be there?
I'm going on my honeymoon, and we're in Clearwater. We're a couple hours away, so we're this close to thinking about pulling trigger going.
Thanks, go.
I know.
We're red.
That's the game to go to.
We're red.
We're red. Yeah, we're Nebraska shirt.
Yeah.
Wear Nebraska shirt. Put a Florida hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough game. I'm not.
Sorry,
It's
a little obvious.
We'll see next Wednesday how all of these games shape out. But right now, let's jump to the guys that used to be the only ones that got paid for it, but the guys that get paid more money. Well, not even that. Anymore,
They're not doing that anymore.
The professionals. And let's go back to last week. A tale of two halves for these two teams. And Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, probably one of the marquee games last week. Philadelphia controlled the first half. Tampa Bay came out in that second half, though, and showed that, yeah, Phillies, we can play with them. We can hang with them. And, they did. Ibuka had a big catch from Mayfield, split two defenders, took it to the house.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving beat a linebacker for one down the sidelines for a 70-some yard touchdown. It just, the special team punt block in the first half really hurt Tampa Bay and put them in a hole right away. So, and Jalen had a big run down the sidelines. It kind of hurt him as well. But, for the most part, they kind of contained Saquon.
What a fun game to watch.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. It was competitive. I'm not going to say that I ever felt like your Buccaneers were going to win. I felt like they pressed it, though. Mm-hmm. They definitely put it right on the edge. If they would got one or two big plays there in the fourth quarter, that might change the way I felt about watching.
Yep.
That or if they wouldn't have got down so much to start the game.
Right. One of the two.
Yeah. Brian, did you feel like Saquon was contained for the most part?
Yeah, and I actually saw something this morning on the TV. They were asking, is Philadelphia in trouble if Saquon and AJ Brown don't get going? Honestly, who cares at this point? They're undefeated. They're winning games. Like,
hey, I got AJ on my fantasy football team. Brown needs to fucking keep going.
Yeah.
All I'm saying,
he put a tweet.
All
out
I'm saying,
and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was not a good measure towards Philadelphia. It was I need the ball or I want out type deal, which no one thought would ever happen because of how close Jalen and AJ are. Mm-hmm. But he's not happy right now. Yeah, he's not happy.
And AJ Brown is that diva wide receiver, I guess I will say, for the Eagles. He kind of pulled that last year at the beginning of the year when he wasn't getting the ball. But honestly, the way that Philadelphia is built with all these players and all these top key players, for the most part, they're really unselfish. They just play the game. Whoever has a good game, it doesn't really matter. But Philadelphia, as long as they're winning games, honestly, who cares who's getting the ball? It really don't matter.
Every premier wide receiver ever to play the game cares who gets the ball. Your TOs, your Beckhams, your Moss,
There's only one that wasn't that way, and that was Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, you're right. He was about team, but
But then
that's character. And those type of players and that type of style of play was left back in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, that was old school. Now you've got
That's
new
right.
school and
New school.
But like we said last year, when Philly just kept squeaking by, they just continue it. And like not this last week, but the week before, they blocked 2 field goals to win the game. This week they took a lead early, and that was the saving grace for Philly, honestly, is they took that big lead. I honestly think that, well, Tampa's been Philly's Achilles heel for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They have. But when they started coming back, I was like, oh, Tampa's going to come back and get this game. But Philadelphia found a way to win. But as long as they're winning, to me, it doesn't really matter. So.
And I realize this makes me a hater, but we're about sick of that bullshit. You guys need to either take control or lose. And I prefer losing, but I mean, one or the other. This just barely sneaking by shit, not to kill me.
Let me see that, because there's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me. But now with the fake tush push in the handoff, how the F are you going to stop that?
Yeah.
I mean, how the heck?
Cheaters! Oh, cheaters! Cheaters!
I have
So
always said every football game from junior high, high school, college up to the pros is defined by 10 to 15 games, 10 to 15 plays a game. Now, right now, in the first 4 games of the year, Philly has won the majority of those plays that they need to.
And all of last year.
And last year. Now, you roll around, those are the plays that if they start swinging to the other team, that's when you're going to probably see Philadelphia, lose a few games.
But what Philadelphia's hoping is what happened last year. They did this last year, then they get to the NFC Championship game and they roll Washington.
And roll Kansas
And
City.
then they rolled Kansas City. And they weren't looking for 10 or 15 plays.
Mhm.
They took all 15 of them.
Brian,
well,
this. Do you think this Philly team this year is as good as the team last year on defense?
I think they will be better, but I don't think at this point they are now.
Let me ask you this. What are the major changes?
They let Gardner Johnson go, which was
They
a
replaced
huge
him with
rookie. They're all
that rookie is doing what?
He's doing really well, honestly.
Really well.
but that's the thing. Like, now needs to be the time that
I just know what's happening. I've been watching.
people need to start giving Howie Roseman his credit. This guy knows how to put together a team, and he does it like a fantasy football team, and he does it well.
I mean, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but as a hater, I'm hoping that your offense and defensive coordinator find head coaching jobs next year.
Well,
don't take
when
this
you're
wrong, but as a hater, I hope your head coach leaves football.
Leaves football. That wouldn't be enough. That would not be enough at this point. I don't want to be not just a hater, but a car accident wouldn't be a bad thing.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm not gonna take it that far.
Guy is a jerk. He's that guy in high school that you're gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen, and he's gonna like it. And he's gonna smile while he's getting his ass kicked, or if he's winning, because he's that guy.
Yep.
He's that guy.
Well, let's go back. A team that started 0-2 on the year, and people are like, boy, what's going on with them? Last week, the Chiefs put a thumping on the Ravens.
Yeah.
You got the one and two teams going against each other.
Mhm.
It was like the week before when they played my Giants. I'm like, you got the same record we do. What are we talking about here? But the Chiefs let the Ravens know where they stood.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens have been pretenders. I've been saying this for years. And this is one of those games where it was a must win. I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
When you go 1-3, how many of those teams even make the playoffs?
Right.
I mean, you're low percentage
Yep.
to make the playoffs at a 1-3 start.
And now Kansas City back to 2-2.
We push them right back in the mix.
Back in the mix in there. I'm not
Especially
saying
with the help of the Giants with the Chargers beat.
Yep.
Woo! We're gonna get to that.
Jumping ahead.
We're gonna get to that.
I just had to thank Jeff.
But I mean, Kansas City will be getting Rasheed Rice back here soon.
Week 6.
Xavier Worthy's healthy again. I'm thinking right now Kareem Hunt looks like a better running back than Pacheco does.
1000%.
And
giving them more touches.
if that offensive line can protect Mahomes like they did the other
But you
day.
gotta remember, when you're playing against Baltimore, it's like playing against a bunch of women. And that really fit into Hunt's moves, If he doesn't know it was easy go. Next week we're gonna be playing men and Pacheco will have to be the guy.
But I will say on defense, Baltimore was missing a lot. And they were missing a lot of key players on the defensive side of the ball. Still, you got to go next man up when you get into the NFL, and you gotta have those guys that are going to fill in that position. But I mean, I'm not saying Kansas City looks like the front runner to go back to the Super Bowl again, but I'm saying they're figuring it out in Kansas City right now. It looks like.
I disagree.
When it comes down to Kansas City, if Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, you can't count them out.
Yeah.
I just want to put.
Baltimore? Go ahead.
I think Baltimore needs to hit that panic button really quick
Yeah.
because they are bad. They are
Really?
not good. I honestly think that was more to show how bad Baltimore is than it is that Kansas City's starting to figure it out.
It's time to put the chopping block on some of that shit over there.
Now,
I think that shows how badly coached they are. We were talking about this before. Derrick Henry has 8 touches whole game. Lamar goes down. Cooper Rush comes in. Why are you not letting Derrick Henry do what he does?
because Derrick Henry has no confidence right now because he's putting the ball on the ground in the last few
Very
games,
true.
and he
Two
doesn't
crucial
have the
games.
confidence he had.
Yeah.
Well, the coach doesn't have the confidence in him either.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he'd be getting those carries anyway.
Yeah.
Baltimore's not
your
making the
coach
playoffs.
What do you do with the player that's having trouble?
You feed him the ball.
You feed him the ball.
Look at Mahomes. If he has a receiver drop a pass, what does he do? He goes right back to that receiver, build his confidence back up. So, they just touched on it. The New York Giants a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about San Diego looking like the best team in the NFL. One of them. We were talking about them and another team we're going to bring up after this. But Jackson Dart.
You bring in you bring in the rookie. He's the first overall pick. He's Eli Manning 2.0. I mean, he broke all of Eli's. What?
He wasn't there.
Yeah, but he broke all of Eli's records down at Ole Miss. And now he comes here. He still was the first round pick. They traded up to make sure they got him, and now he comes out there, and all of a sudden you take away an inept offense. Not saying it turned great, but you take away the ineptness and the turnovers, and all of a sudden the defense looks really good. I mean, they had pressure. Herbert, look, I mean, he couldn't find his feet. Every time, he was running for his life back there. And then even if he didn't, he had a good pocket. There was coverage downfield. Those rookies were all over him.
And how about Dexter Lawrence on that interception return?
Whoa! Don't you love when a big man scores?
But he didn't score.
I know, but what did you get?
You got a touchdown from Jackson Dart.
Oh, you got a big man fat dance. Yeah.
You going up to John Madden or But
I'm
anyway,
glad that you called that.
you've got 2 rookies in that backfield right now for the Giants. You've got Scatterboot and you've got Jackson Dart. 2 guys that weren't really talked about a lot coming out of the draft last year. I mean, they were up there, but they weren't the big names coming out in the draft.
But don't leave Carter out.
No,
Carter
I'm
got-
talking offensive.
Carter got 1 sack and 3 tackles for losses.
I'm talking about offensive players.
Okay.
I'm talking about offensive players right now. But the Giants do lose Malik Neighbors.
Oh,
A big hurt
That's
right there.
huge.
So, but if you look, Jackson Dart didn't really throw the ball that much the other day. he was killing the Chargers with his legs.
But he was proficient when he threw.
Yes.
But you're right. He didn't miss Neighbors when Neighbors was gone.
Yeah.
And he used him a couple times.
Yep.
But he hit Wandell, he hit Hunter, he hit Darius. I mean, he was spreading the ball around well. What's the big tight end? I always forget his name.
Johnson.
Yeah, he hit him twice too on big third downs.
Yep.
Well,
Dark changes the way the Giants look. And the thing is, I'm not saying that they're going to light up the world, but they did let the world know what the Chargers are.
now I didn't see if he came back into the game, but the Chargers did suffer a big loss because their big offensive tackle from they drafted a couple years ago, Alt, went out of that game. I didn't see if he came back in, but he is the protector of Herbert on that backside. So you lose him and you bring somebody else in. That's where Carter and Thibodeau and the rest of those defensive players had a field day.
I just think the Chargers are overrated. They've been overrated from the beginning. Harbaugh is a cheater, and if he's not allowed to cheat, he's a mediocre coach at best.
Yeah. He's not Belichick.
He is not Belichick. Shit, he's not a Tom Landry. He's not. He's not a Sean Payton.
Belichick.
He's not a Sean Payton. He's not a Sean Payton.
True. But let's go to another team we talked about, guys.
He's a cheater.
A couple of weeks ago, we said the Chargers and the Packers look like the two best teams in the NFL at that point in time. Green Bay, the last 2 weeks, what have they done? They lost to the Browns and they tied the Cowboys. I mean, tying the Cowboys isn't even like kissing your sister. It's like kissing your ugly third cousin twice removed from Arkansas. So
That's fast.
yeah.
I mean, she's not even a crack whore. She's just fat and disgusting.
I mean,
you got fungus in her teeth and.
And out of all the games that could have tied, that really pissed me off. It was that game that tied.
Yeah.
It-
I mean,
Pissed me off because I stayed up and watched that shit.
so guys, and Brian, let's get your thoughts on this. With all the new things the NFL is bringing in, the kickoff rules, all of this, do you think it's time to bring in some sort of overtime rule like college football has?
College football's got overtime right.
I believe so. Now, with the big legs you've got in the NFL right now, start them at the 50, start them at the 40 or the 50 in that overtime.
Call it professional and back it up a little bit.
Yeah, and play it like that. Do you agree?
I agree. I never have liked the NFL's overtime rule. I thought it's always sucked. College has got it right, in my opinion. Yeah, give these guys a chance, because like the overtime rule now just
Where's
sucks.
them to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, Dallas's defense is probably the worst in the NFL. They are bad.
Get a tie.
They're-
In this day and age, you should have a tie no matter what game you're playing.
And the fact that game ended up tied, all this hype about Micah Parsons coming back to Dallas, all this stuff, and it's just a letdown every time there's a tie. There should never be a tie in football, period.
God
I
damn,
don't
Jared Jones went home thinking he won the lottery. He got 2 first-round picks, and his team is no worse than the team they traded the best player to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess who's back in the lead in the NFC North? Detroit is right back in the lead
Yeah.
because Green Bay's fallen on their face the last 2 weeks straight.
And Detroit had that bad opening week against Green Bay, and now they're back in there, and Detroit looks tough right now. But 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL. You got the Bills in the AFC at 4-0. You got the Eagles.
Eagles.
Who's that other team? Oh, the Eagles. Sorry, Brian.
Those are the only two that are undefeated left. The Bills look really good doing it. Eagles look like they're kind of tripping along and fumbling up the hill.
And I know we've talked about this on this show before, everybody, but I think everybody needs to write to the NFL. We want Monday Night Football back.
Yeah.
We don't want Miami and the Jets. We don't want Denver and Cincinnati with no Joe Burrow in there. We want a Philadelphia Tampa Bay Monday night.
I just feel like Monday Night Football should be predetermined at the beginning of the year. Monday Night Football should be determined 2 weeks in advance.
We talked about this the other day.
The other day, 2 weeks in advance, then you set up which game.
I know the logistics. They play the flex schedule at the end of the year anyway. If you look at the end of the year, the last 2 weeks, there are flex games to decide who's going to play where and what time slot and all that. Why can't you do that the whole year? I mean, I know people want to know, oh, hey, I got season tickets. I know I'm going to be here for this game this time and this time and this time. But
2 weeks is long enough.
For the people who are sitting at home watching Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, yeah, they may not have the best games.
But it's because that's hard to plan for.
Right. But Monday Night Football, I mean, and this week, okay, it's a better game this week. Kansas City at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's playing some good football.
And they're 3-1. They're 3-1.
And so that game, I will agree with you on. Miami and the Jets. I mean,
who cares?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
I'm just saying, if I'm a season ticket holder, don't care what team. You tell me 2 weeks, I'm supposed to have a Sunday 12 o'clock game, but 2 weeks in advance and say, hey, they're moving us to Monday night because we're playing in Kansas City. You don't think I'm gonna be there for that?
Yeah,
that's long enough.
And 2 weeks give me long enough to tell my boss, hey, I'm gonna be a little late on Tuesday.
I agree. You don't want to put the top echelon teams on every single Monday night. That's not what it's built for.
No,
but
you want to look for competitive games.
Yes, you can find a good matchup. I mean, I don't know. Tampa Bay's scheduled to play a Monday night game this year. Maybe one, I think, against Atlanta late in the season. But
how does that make any sense?
Yeah,
I mean, you guys won the division last year.
The last 4 years,
right?
Yeah, and 3.
You're a playoff team, and every year. How do you not get put in there 2 or 3 times?
And you got Philadelphia coming in, the defending Super Bowl champs. I mean, from last week, that would have been one of the top games. Kansas City, Baltimore, even.
Yeah. I mean, at least make that a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Not a 2:30. Sunday. But don't get me wrong. The Sunday night game is actually bigger TV.
This year it has been.
Yeah, it's been that way for a few years. I mean, which one's you more likely to watch?
Right now, Sunday Night Football all day.
Absolutely.
Right.
Schedule.
Well, and also, sometimes you got shit to do on Mondays.
True.
Yep.
True.
Well, we'll get off that. We'll get off that right now. Sorry, I just had to vent a little.
I'm with you. We're all in agreement.
Frustrating. Some of the games this week, Thursday Night Football, you got the 49ers, the Rams. Brock Purdy out again. I saw that today. Brock Purdy's out. So is Ricky Pearsall.
And as soon as Brock Purdy went out, it went from 3.5 to 7.5.
Yeah.
By the way, Rams are now 7.5 favorites.
The Rams have the one loss on the year to the Eagles, and Matt Stafford's looking good. Puka Nacua, that guy's lighting it up this year.
He lit up last year.
He did.
The guy's solid.
Yeah.
He runs good routes. He blocks. He does his job.
And that defense is young, and they are solid too. I mean, they really are.
So the Rams are quietly moving right along the ranks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Puka is shining without Cooper Cup.
Yes, he is.
It's all on
They
Puka.
they put double teams on him, and you don't care.
Yeah.
But you've got Devontae Adams, who has rejuvenated his career, I feel, after spending last year with Aaron and the Jets. Yeah. But he's really coming around. And then Sunday, you got the Broncos and the Eagles, live from Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Mr. Denver guy? I mean, you're a Denver fan that turned into an Eagles fan because Denver sucks. And Grandpa's still a Denver fan, right? I mean, probably rolling over his grave because you're an Eagles fan. Because no one understands that. Your mom, me, Dad, Grandpa definitely don't get it.
He just hopes both teams have fun.
I could see that being extremely low scoring. I could see that being several field goals on both sides, just back and forth. I see it being
right down. Hold on. Who's at home?
Eagles.
Eagles are.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, so I just don't think Bo's playing good enough football to even put up a fight in that game, really. I think Philadelphia will have it in hand for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Jalen isn't even looking for AJ Brown right now, so Sertan is going to kind of be a moot factor from that whole thing. So
I think they're both gonna have a bad day. It's gonna be 3-6. Philadelphia's gonna win that game because both teams suck.
So
Yeah.
honestly, let's just say this though, as we see it right now, the NFL's wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
That's
But
what the Broncos are going to beat them.
but if you look at this, like
is that your
nobody
bold prediction?
That's my
Brandon with the
prediction.
bold prediction of the week.
What's
Broncos
that?
winning in Philadelphia.
I think because I'm pretty sure they get Evan Ingram back. JK, when they finally gave JK the ball against Cincinnati, he was great. They just never gave him the ball.
Okay, but that was against Cincinnati, bro.
I understand that.
They
I
keep-
understand that.
Cincinnati had to go to Kmart last week at halftime to try to find a defense, and they didn't have any on sale.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
This is one of those games where I
I
wish what do them people call them? Moss? Bombs and shit.
Well, even Tom Brady in the analyst from last week, he said Philadelphia just plays all aspects of the game really well. They will find a way to beat you. So, as of right now, who's going to beat them? Who do you think's going to beat them?
Denver.
Because they're looking the best so far.
Well,
Just
they
saying.
got-
In the NFL, Indianapolis with Daniel Jones.
Eagles are going to repeat, buddy.
or Minnesota coming in with Carson. Battle of 3-1 teams taking place in the Pacific Northwest this weekend as well. Tampa Bay travels up there to take on Seattle.
What a game.
You know, these two teams came into the league the same year back in 1976. Tampa Bay started off 0 forever in winning games. Seattle did a little bit better. I mean, they had some decent players.
The Bucks were the place that #1 overall draft pick quarterbacks went to die.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah. Doug Williams, Steve Young. Once they got out of there, they were able to win Super Bowls. But
Yeah.
Now the Bucks have handed the baton to the Browns.
Yeah. And speaking of the Browns,
Oh my God.
Dylan Gabriel, the former Oregon Quack, is taking over for Joe. I need to retire Flacco.
But yet they left Joe
As
like to retire as a backup and leaving Shador Sanders in that number 3 slot.
Now,
Did you see his press conference?
Yeah.
He wouldn't talk. He was lip wide.
let's look at this, guys. Gabriel coming in. Jackson Dart last week, the rookie, comes in New York and has a lot of success. Now you bring Dylan Gabriel in as the rookie in Cleveland to take over as that quarterback. Let's just say the next 4 weeks do not go good for Cleveland and Gabriel. What do the Browns do?
Let's talk about Sanders for a second before we get there. You know, Sanders got interviewed. He wouldn't talk. I mean, he literally was fake lip syncing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched it over and over again. He's not saying words. He's just moving his lips. He was told straight out not to say a word, or you're out of here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's straight up. Which means, how do you end up third in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta really be missing something.
I mean, you knew Flacco was going to come in as a starter just because he had the experience.
But you also knew at some point
They were going to have to go to one of those.
they were going to go to one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feared to be Dylan first.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it clear that Flacco's number 2.
Yeah.
He is, but for how long? I mean, can you actually trust Joe Flacco to lead your team to victory?
How cocky and arrogant can you be to piss off a team, the league, so bad
Mm-hmm.
that a guy that shouldn't even be on the field is still being put above you?
Well, remember any given Sunday, Willie Beeman was the third stringer, and then he came in and
And the Sharks are circling.
Yep. You don't even know what we're talking about, do you?
I wasn't even born yet.
It's a movie.
It's not a movie.
It's a movie.
I know when the movie came out, I wasn't even born yet.
Well, so that doesn't mean you can't watch it, Brady. Have you seen the movie, Brian?
Have you seen Rudy?
I've seen it, but it's been a
That was
long
before
time
you were
ago.
born.
Yeah, true.
But
But
all
listen, Lamar is out. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to weigh in on the Browns thing. As an Oregon fan, this is not going to last long. I don't think Gabriel's going to be very good in the NFL. Left-handed quarterbacks just never are. They never are good in the NFL for whatever reason.
Boomer
So,
aside.
okay, hold on.
Steve Young.
He can hold off Flacco, though, right?
No,
You think
I-
Flacco
I-
will get back in?
I think it's going to be 2 weeks and then it's going to be Shador.
We don't
I would-
want that.
I would have said the same thing until that press conference, though. I think.
I don't
Shador-
And Flacco comes back in.
I think Shador buried his grave there.
Yeah.
You do you guys really think if the Browns lose the next 2 games and bad, let's just say they lose them bad, that they won't take a shot?
How is that a shot? If you're watching him in practice and you're still putting Flacco above him,
Okay,
this ain't an attitude thing at this point.
let's go.
This is what you're seeing in practice.
Let's go with this. Cleveland sucks. We can all say that. I mean, they've got a great defense. Take that
Great
one.
defense.
A great defense. Their offense is horrific. I mean,
They got a shitty coach. They got a shitty GM.
they've got Quinshon Junkins, rookie running back, who has shown bright spots. Jerry Jeudy is their top receiver. I
He
mean,
was a has-been from fucking Denver,
yes,
which
but Shador had all the hype around him coming into the draft until he fell. Okay, he did. He had a lot of hype around him. You
He
can't
did.
argue that.
no.
Now,
But then he did his individual interviews,
you know,
and the whole league said, "How sure an idiot."
yeah, but the fans in Cleveland don't know that,
No, they know it.
They just don't admit it.
do they?
Yeah, they know it.
They're Cleveland Brown fans.
Yeah, they know what happened.
But you take that, Flacco has struggled 1-3. Even if you give Dylan Gabriel 4 games, 1-3, or worse, 0-4, are those fans going to be like, okay, we're done going to games? Are they going to be calling, put Shador in, put Shador in, put Shador in? You know, because you got the radio, you got the social media, all that stuff there. Are they going to be calling for it? Because
You know what the beautiful thing is? Let's just say you're right. And they put Shadur in there. You know what that means? I get to watch Shadur Sanders fall flat on his face for 2-3 games before they finally bring Flacco back in.
now, okay, let's say that. What if Shador comes in and they fluke out a 3-1 record
Okay,
over
okay,
4
wait.
games?
He can't.
I-
This is not a what if. The guy sucks.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
literally sucks. He's got a big arm that can throw deep. He can't see the defense. He holds on to the ball too long, and he can't run very fast. This is not a. We're gonna surprise you with bringing this guy in.
I'm just saying, what happens if, say, Cleveland's defense steps up and Quinshon Junkins becomes something great and they win 2 or 3 games with him behind under center?
Then you should start building a bunker because the stars are out of
I
sync.
know,
The world's coming to a fucking end.
I know. Well, guys, before we head out, let's talk about some of the injuries. Big names going out. Lamar Jackson is out for a few weeks. Bucky Irving, the running back from Tampa Bay, is in a walking boot right now from a foot sprain. Tyreek Hill. Oh, God.
Gruesome.
That was.
And what was Brady happy about on his way out?
He didn't have to play.
He's getting paid $72 million and doesn't have to catch a pass from
He didn't have to go out there and make a fool of himself playing in a Dolphins uniform the rest of the year.
That's the last time you'll see that kind of Dolphin.
That's crazy. He's being carted off and he's going,
Yeah, he's literally screaming yes.
yeah.
On the
I mean, have you ever seen anything like that?
no.
No.
You
know? Purdy is out. Pearsall's out in San Francisco again. You know, I mean,
Malik Neighbors.
There are some
Malik
neighbors goes down. You got Connor the week before from Arizona going down with an injury. I mean, big names are going out right now. And it's like, wow, what is happening right now? And I mean,
Bring grass.
like Malik Neighbors, that wasn't even a contact injury.
No.
No,
He was running
Yeah.
and you could just see it.
He's
jumped.
now on the list of how many
When he-
wide receivers guys have got hurt at MetLife Stadium.
it just didn't look right.
Mhm.
You know, when he took off, it looked awkward, and then when it landed, it was awkward. But on the other hand, it didn't look lethal.
Yeah. Yep.
But he was screaming as soon as he hit the ground.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, Najee Harris from the Chargers, he
Yeah.
went out with an injury a couple weeks ago. So I mean, some big names,
Love that guy's name.
Najee.
big names are
Najee.
going out, and you know, you look at it. Who is the biggest injury right now that is going to hurt their team? Is it Lamar?
You know, I think you're asking the wrong question. I think the question is these teams that are not injured,
Mm-hmm.
who's the best of them now?
Yeah.
And the Eagles are definitely taking benefit to this.
Yep.
The Chargers are also going to take big benefit to the fact that all the people around them are hurt and they're not. Your Bucks should take a step forward in this.
Well, the Bucks have a player that's out right now that could hurt him. Mike Evans is still out.
Yeah, but
They get Godwin
they've been
back.
playing without Evans or Godwin on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I mean, these are not new injuries for y'all, and this has been back for a year and a half. You know, so you guys proven that you can play without him.
But Emeka Ibuku has stepped up as a rookie.
Absolutely.
And played huge this year. I mean, that kid's not a rookie anymore. He's a 2-year veteran right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, do you disagree with me? It's about who's left that's not hurt.
Yep.
Because the people that are hurt, their teams are hurt by these things.
Well,
There's not a replacement that's going to, that you can foresee.
let's look at some of these teams, though, that had players out that are getting them back. Rashee Rice, not hurt, but he's coming back to Kansas City. Does that help them?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We saw what he did when he came back. I mean,
Joe Mixon will be back in a couple weeks for the Texans. Does that help them? Or has Nick Chubb done okay? And is Mixon going to be splitting time in the backfield?
they're 1-3. I mean, that's you have to split time now. I mean, Nick Chubb's looked decent, but at a 1-3 record, you have to see what's going to work.
Right.
You have to.
Oh, Brian's out. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay.
You have to split time with Mixon and Chubb with being 1-3. You have to find something that works to try to get back.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at, Joe Mixon coming in now, Houston right now was one of the favorites to win the AFC South, but right now, Jacksonville looks to have that. Travis Etienne is back to what we thought he was going to be when he came to the NFL.
Absolutely.
Etienne is playing good.
And they just picked up Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
Jacksonville did.
Well,
Yeah.
they back him.
I thought they just traded for him.
Yeah, they just trade forward.
For him.
Oh, did he leave and then came back?
I think so.
Because they had Bigsby the last few years. Trevor Lawrence isn't looking horrible as a quarterback. The defense is playing strong
The
down in
defense is
Jacksonville.
playing great.
Yeah.
But you got to look at who else is in that division right now, and Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. I mean,
Stop it. There's no way that continues.
their only loss on the year was to the Rams last week, and if Josh Downs isn't an idiot and dropped the ball before he gets to the goal line, let it go through the end zone, it's a 7-point game. Is what
Isn't
the
it
Rams
crazy?
play.
Or the
Yeah.
60-yard run that got called back for a small holding call.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Daniel Jones' fault.
No.
It was not Daniel Jones' fault. Hold on.
Playing good.
He's playing really good.
I just want to slap the shit out of him.
He is back to Danny
Who's that
Dimes.
He is Danny
He
Dimes.
is Danny Dimes again. But you look at that AFC South, Houston is in a lot of trouble unless they can figure a way out to win now, with the Indy and Jacksonville playing the way they are.
Yeah.
The AFC West, the Chargers went 3-0. They beat Denver, Las Vegas, and Kansas City to start the year at 3-0. lose to New York. Now you've got the Chiefs back at 2-2. Ashton Genty was looking really strong last week, as what people thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
The Raiders aren't looking horrible right now.
You know, you can't help but kind of root them on.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a bunch of misfits.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say has-beens because they're misfits. They're people that haven't worked out anywhere else that are now thrown together, and they're playing ball.
I will say this: the Raiders have drafted well the last few years. Bowers, great draft pick. Genty is looking like that draft pick now.
But Pete Carroll is a great coach.
He is.
And he's a player's coach. He literally makes these guys believe in themselves.
And I know you like this guy, Jeff, but I feel the Raiders are a quarterback away from being a contender. Geno Smith to me is just not that guy that's going to lead them.
I just don't understand how come on this show every time, it doesn't matter who's there. Even when your buddy from the Nebraska radio station came in, you know, I was trying not to say his name in this conversation, but yeah. I mean, you guys always get on Geno. Geno's done nothing but do his job his whole career.
Geno sucks.
He's not the guy to lead you, though.
I'm not saying he is going to lose you a lot of games, but
He's better than Alex Smith ever was.
Would you put
What?
He's way better than Alex Smith ever was.
No.
Way better.
Alex Smith was the most accurate quarterback ever.
What? That's because he dunked over. He never threw a ball over 20 yards.
You're talking about Alex Smith who played for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Came in. Okay.
And the San Francisco before that?
Yeah.
The guy never threw over 20 yards. Of course he's accurate.
Okay.
Geno Smith at least tries to win games.
He does. But I'm just saying, if you wanted a quarterback out of the NFL, would Geno Smith be in your top 10 to lead your team to a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
They had Danny Dimes and go all the way.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, the NFL, it's heating up. We're 4 weeks in. We are into week 5 right now. Tomorrow night, Rams, Niners. I don't think the Niners really stand a chance in that game.
Too hurt.
They're 7.5 underdogs.
I know.
But without Purdy, I mean, what?
You got Big Mac Jones.
Yeah. And you know, people went out and got these other quarterbacks that were washed up in places. And San Francisco didn't step up in that range.
No.
They didn't really. I mean, you got some proven quarterbacks that were hanging around out there. I hate to say the name that we were just talking about, but Danny Dimes. I mean, he's been in the mix. He's fought the wars. And if you put him in the right situation, as it turns out, he's a pretty good quarterback. You got Carson Wentz, who actually played well for a little while. And, you know, he probably can't get you a Super Bowl, but he can carry you into the playoffs because, you know, he'll choke eventually, but he'll get you somewhere. You know, I mean, they didn't even jump up into those rounds.
I heard the Vikings are trying to sign Nick Foles as Wentz's backup. But the Minnesota special.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, you know, Jeff was talking about Geno Smith, and I know Jeff has been a Geno Smith fan. But are the Seahawks better with Sam Darnold under center?
Yes.
Right now they are.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy that's rejuvenated his career.
Well, he got out of his debts. He got away from New York.
And Panthers. There's a picture of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold when they were together at Carolina. Look where they're at now. Baker Mayfield was on the practice squad defense with the Panthers. And look what he's doing. Same as Sam Darnold.
Well, Baker was with the Browns, originally drafted by them.
Where did Murray start?
Kyler?
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's been with
Arizona
the
the
whole time.
Yeah. I'm not sold on Kyler Murray right now either. And
Really? Arizona looks good.
That's
That's a good team.
they do. They look okay, but I'm still not sold on Kyler Murray. You know, when I think of a quarterback, you got to think of a quarterback that you would have faith in leading your team to a Super Bowl. You know, as much as you hate to say this, Jalen Hurts led his team to a Super Bowl. He's led them to 2. Mahomes, you think of him, you think he's got everything it takes to take his team to the Super Bowl. A healthy Joe Burrow, we've seen him lead his team to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen is that quarterback to lead his team to a Super Bowl. He just
But Buffalo, something always goes wrong for them fuckers.
Just can't beat the Chiefs.
yeah.
That's the thing. They're one game wrong.
They are. They
I
really
mean, I love Baker Mayfield, but I'm not even going to say I can say Baker Mayfield is that quarterback that can take your team all the way to the Super Bowl. I really don't know if I could say that about him because he hasn't done it. He hasn't shown. Lamar Jackson, for definite, I'm not going to say he's a quarterback that can do it.
No, you can't.
You know,
He barely gets playoff wins.
Brock Purdy has taken a team to a Super Bowl, but
are.
he had Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, C-Mac, and a great defense with him. I mean, Purdy just knew his role. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over.
Brock Purdy, Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Just said it.
But a lot of great NFL this weekend, guys. And Brian, I know you're in a winning situation no matter what. Denver, Philadelphia this week.
Yeah. I think either way, Philadelphia's going to be fine. They got themselves a good cushion now. I don't see anybody in that division really giving them a shot at all, but they're in a good spot. They just
If the
keep
Giants
winning.
would
And
started 2-1, I would think the Giants would give them a run for their money. But starting on 3 really hurt.
Yeah.
right. And I'm not
That was
sold
a
on
tough 0-3 though. We played the Chiefs. We played the Eagles.
No, you didn't.
Or,
You played the Eagles.
No, we played the Chiefs. Who do we all have? We played a tough fucking schedule. All I know
Chargers.
is loss after loss after loss. It was horrible.
Jeff, you lost to the Cowboys.
Say you lost the Cowboys.
You lost to Dallas.
Oh, I don't have it. Can we be done with this?
Well, we are glad all of you have tuned in. Please, again, share, subscribe, hit that like button, hit all that. Please come on here with us.
I mean, seriously, go to our page, go to the invite, and invite everybody that you're friends with. If you have 670 friends, invite them all. They're not going to hate you for inviting us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to offend them. We're not going to eat them or anything. Then they might like what they hear.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Pretty Boy Brandon here. We got you out here in Colorado with the beard looking good, And then you got 2 old school guys, We do what we do best. Talk shit.
Yeah. So, well, again, we're glad you joined us. We'll hope to see all of you again next Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time right here. And Braden, I'm sorry for what's about to happen to you this weekend. Jeff, you've seen Harlem Nights.
I have.
Don't take this ass personally, okay? But we hope that your teams all do well this weekend, whether it's fantasy, whether it's your favorite NFL and favorite college team. We hope they all pull out the victory this weekend. And we hope to see you all once again next week. For Brian, Braden, Jeff, and myself, you've been watching Tailgate Talk, and
We
we know sports.